Welcome back to the vlog. Come on the first fishing trip of the season.
Day 7 of the draft. And luckily the way the angle of the rain's coming at is only getting the backside of the case. A little bit of rain obviously, and trying to catch some suckers to have some sucker meat for Silver Lake. I mean, with the wind, it's not very great. It's probably like mid-40s and then windy. And there comes someone in a raft. I wish I was in a raft. Wouldn't be super pleasant, but I love rafting. Gotta buy a raft, really bad. But yeah, not bad. I had a really big bite and wasn't patient enough, and had another little one since. So I'll probably never catch a fish again. Yeah, this is always interesting because Saturday's the fun day, because that's when they do the stump the truck, where it's like people give them like random, like tiny schools to try to get them to see if they can find film on them. I think they've even been able to get some NIAI schools before, so that's always interesting. And like Division 3 schools. But then also, like, this is when, if any Grizz players go, this will be when. I just accidentally caught that fish jumping literally right above where my fucking line is. That's like the 5th time that's happened. There's been a couple along here too. But if that thing's hungry, it's literally just got to swim straight down. I'm gonna bring the dogs so we could strap them in the bed of the truck, like run a chain between the 2 cargo loops in the front, and then like give them enough chain where they could like wander around a bit but not get over the side, as to not scratch or jump out. But it's cold enough, especially once they were in the water. Well, probably not Zuma, but once I was in the water and wet, and then wind, and then highway speed, and then it's already not very warm. So yeah, Nathan and my dad are over there tucked under the bank like a bunch of wieners while I'm out here getting all wet. I like it. And then, of course, with my couple of nibbles and the one big bite that I wasn't patient enough with, they had stripped my worm entirely. But I find this kind of funny because they've obviously been trimming willows so people can get down here to fish. Which is kind of stupid because it's like, if you can't fish, like, I mean, obviously not when it gets that bad, but if someone has been kind of breaking some trail, it's not that hard to fish through it a little bit. I mean, it's like, it's part of fishing. Like, if you go down to Willow Creek or Mill Creek where we always used to go, it's really grown in. But, you know, and it wouldn't be that hard. If you can see where they were growing, you'd kind of, like, people that have to keep limbs broke off, but this would be easy to keep a path here. But up here where they were cutting them off, like, look at this. It looks like one of those traps you see in, like, movies when it's like, you got ancient tribes trying to capture somebody. And then some of them are kind of hidden in the grass. So it's like something easy to trip on, like one of these ones. Then you trip, fall right on those. I'm not sure if they were trying to keep the banks clear or kill people. Because then, like, right here, it gets really narrow with this rock and this. Then those ones there, those go right into your chest, right in between some ribs. Kind of weird, because it looks like somebody reached. Oh, that's what was chewed off by a beaver. I was gonna say it looks like somebody reached back in there to cut for some reason, which makes no sense. But if you look at, like, the way, like, one's angled this way and then the other's this way. Because I was kind of thinking, like, maybe those chew marks were from beavers. But, like, some of them are clearly cut, because that's, like, oh, maybe those were from beavers. I'll have to go touch some of those other ones and see if they have grooves, because obviously didn't bend over to look. I guess they're all out of here too. There's no way the beavers have done this much though, is there? Maybe. There's no way the beavers clear cut this much though. I guess that's the thing, if you're hitting it with a chainsaw and it was like making it shake, that could be enough to get some weird cuts. Yeah, because then there's even big ones over there. I don't know. Now I'm kind of intrigued which it was. I mean, beavers can clear cut pretty quick. There's an area up in Dry Cottonwood where they cut down a bunch of Quakers. Like 30 or 40 of them, and cleared out like an entire area. And I mean, whatever it was, it made a really nice natural pull holder. That's another thing that kind of makes it half seem like it might have been beavers, because you got, like, these ones are old and these ones are new. Interesting. I highly doubt that's from the beavers, but that's the thing, those are designed, like, you can kind of see how there's like a point on them so that, like, stuff doesn't stick. And that's like, when we first got them, I'm like, look, that's a lot of stuff hung up there, because you'd basically have to have like something kind of like almost hook or V-shaped to, like, hit it, get stuck, and then, like, that be the thing that collects more. But if, like, a beaver went there and specifically placed it, but that definitely doesn't look organized enough to be a beaver dam. But some of it does look like it's been chewed off or something. Because that's the thing I was just thinking about. But, I mean, like, especially using current to help. Like, they might, I mean, but there's willows all along here, so I don't know why they would have came clear here to get wood if they weren't building right here. But, yeah, it's kind of interesting. So now Nathan relocated to by me because he got a couple snags over there. I had another fucking one pick my hook clean, so I took a littler piece of worm and threaded it on the hook. So now if it takes it, it's gonna have to take the hook. Assholes. This is what drives me nuts about the draft, because, like, granted, I said, like, there's a lot of stuff about day 7 that's fun, but they get, like, they go back to, like, oh, let's talk about, like, picks from the first round and stuff. But it's like Brady came at 199 in the 6th round. Like, Dak came in the 4th round. Like, Kittle was a 4th rounder. Brock Purdy was Mr. Irrelevant. There's, like, constantly, like, impact players that come, like, I think Wilson was a 4th round pick too. Like, there's a lot of guys that come from later. And it's like, they just kind of, like, they get to a point where they started completely ignoring it. I bet when Brady got drafted, I mean, granted, that was long enough ago where, like, there wasn't as much draft coverage. But I bet whatever coverage there was, they were rambling about, like, some quarterback that got drafted in the 1st round that ended up not even making it to a 3rd or 4th season, while the greatest of all time was getting drafted in the 6th round. This is another interesting nature-y thing, because, like, this is like a little bit rotten, so it's like kind of spongy, and it's like literally like you can dig your fingers into it. Oh yeah, back to the draft thing really quick. I do have to say, like, what they're talking about right now, where the Falcons took Michael Penix after signing Kirk Cousins to a 9-figure deal. That's a pretty weird thing. And then also not communicating it to Kirk Cousins. It's like, hey guy, like, yeah, it'll be interesting. But yeah, because then they also took him at 8 overall when he had like a early second round grade, and like people always overdraft quarterbacks, but that's kind of a lot, especially because they easily could have traded back and still kept him, and they took him over the guy that most people consider the 4th best. So there was like a lot of weirdness there. But his shoe isn't very comfortable anymore. Nathan's very dedicated to getting that stick sticking in the mud there. He already failed kind of horribly and fell into that mud, so let's see what happens.
Do I have to get all the way in the water to get that?
If you want to get where you need to get it.
How?
What do you mean, how? Try it. I mean, if you're that fucking dedicated to it, I told you you're going to sink in the mud. Go try if you want. But, good thing, because those boots are not going in the truck.
I would take my boots off and mud.
We didn't bring your tennis shoes.
Why not, like, let's leave these off until we got back home.
Don't... That's funny. That draft thing just said the Eagles are the best team in the NFC East. It's like, yeah, the Cowboys lost some pieces, but the Eagles blew it and lost 5 out of 6 down the stretch. And they haven't really added any super major pieces. So, yeah, I told you, you're going to sink. You're dumb. You should be listening to your dad, but... I mean, do you have it? Is it it's probably growing there. Fucking dummy. You're lucky you didn't get tangled in your line.
No.
I mean, that worked. Then you're going to do it where you just slid. Find a place where it's less slippery, you ding-dong. Or where it's less deep. Or wipe it in the grass.
No.
He's a dope. And every time his hands touch, he gets all grossed out. It's like, you want to play in the mud or do you want to play in the mud? Oh, good fucking go. Get it. Get it. Put your foot back in it. Just put your foot back in it. Now make sure after you have your foot all the way back in, keep your foot nice and stiff so that it can't pull out of it. Oh, jeez. Yeah, and or use your hands. You're sinking fast. See? Oh my God, you almost, it was almost all the way in. Oh, another fish just jumped out there. Or my dad or my dad recast, one of the two. You're the one that keeps going in there. I told you, if you're gonna do it somewhere where you're not on such a steep spot. Okay, there's really not like as much like that way or that way to get impaled on if you trip on this, but this one's like a real, not so much that way because it just bends over, but like that way, that's quite the tripping hazard. As he continues, he was literally just trying to dig himself out. He had his hands like just covered. It looked like he was digging in a pile of cow poop. It was terrible. I'm gonna be really sad when I'm between filming and he falls in. This one here confirms it's beaver. Look at that shape. And then, like all the beaver teeth shavings. Did he just get in? No. Oh, he's down by the water still. I guess there's a little bit there too when you dig into the grass level. Okay, so saw these at the new town pump in Whitehall. And they have Country Time lemonade, Sunny D, like sour grape. They have all sorts of interesting flavors. It's definitely interesting. And then I saw these because we've had the Scorchin, but never Extreme. I've already eaten like 10. They feel like one of those things that's gonna catch up because like initially I'm like, huh? Like supposedly Extreme 3 pepper. Does it try to tell you what they use? Anywhere? Doesn't seem like it. Like if it's like, it's ghost pepper. But, yeah, they feel like they might catch up a bit, but I don't know about calling them. They don't feel like any hotter than the Scorchin that we've gotten before, the ones that are just, that don't say Extreme. Also, weird thing about that town pump, the little tiny one that's still there across the street that they closed to build the new one, I'm assuming they're going to be tearing it down eventually, used to always have a bait cooler. The new one does not have bait. It's strange, disappointing. Okay, they catch up quite a bit. They're nowhere near the ghost pepper soup we had. Actually, they're fairly close to that. But, like, yeah, I don't know. They try to make them sound all scary. And they're not, like, stupidly bad. But they're definitely hotter than that TikTok trend ramen we tried. But, yeah, I want to tell one other fun story. I almost drowned right in here somewhere. Because there used to be a way to get down, like, right where them trees are now. Is where the parking area was. And me and my cousin had, like, gotten a log, like, over here, where you can see the outhouse where, like, the new parking is. Because the new parking is just on the other side of that. But, like, we'd walked down there and gotten a log, and we were floating down on a log because we were on a float trip. And obviously only so many can fit in the raft. And then you have, like, people go down to pull the raft out. Or, like, stop to be like, do we want to keep going? And this was, like, the first stop. Or, you know, swap people or whatever it happened to be. And I was mad I wasn't on the raft, and so was my cousin. So we were like, screw it. We're going to, like, raft on our own. And we were, like, right here. And the log rolled. And he stayed on it and had enough momentum that it rolled back up. And I let go. And it was kind of no big deal. And I started swimming. And it's probably because it's so deep, it doesn't look as bad. But, like, right there where that swirl is, there's something there that causes like, a major undercurrent. And it sucked me in. And I went under. And popped up and, like, kind of got myself back up. And, you know, cockiness and being a kid. I'm like there was someone with us. It was my uncle's ex. I mean, not ex at the time, obviously, but, like, everybody hated her. She wasn't a very good person or good for my uncle. But I'm like, no, I'm good. Then I came up again, and because both times she asked if I was okay. And the second one, like, I went up and I'm like, okay, I got to admit this time, like, as I was finally getting back up, and I got up and I was like, no. Then I went under and I'm like, I was under long enough to, I don't know how long it actually was, but it felt long because I was under there. And I'm like, this bitch is going to let me fucking drown. Are you kidding me? And I'm like under there thinking like, well, I'm dead. And then, like, I could hear her hit the water. And then, like, as I was, like, going out, I heard her hit the water. And then I remember coming to on shore. It was a interesting one. But yeah, there's a big, once I got out of the water, there's a rock somewhere there that caused, like, a really major swirl and undercurrent. And it was like I was swimming fine, and just all of a sudden it was like, and it shows the power of currents, especially undercurrents. And I mean, anybody that's been around the ocean, like, I feel like it's probably similar to what a riptide's like. That's been another fun thing with the draft, because like with all the promotion of the international stuff, they've been bringing like a lot of the things today, because like especially on the last day they start bringing out all sorts of interesting people to announce picks. I guess second round they kind of do a lot of like legendary players and like fans that won the opportunity, but it was really interesting to having a person with a hardcore English accent come out. And, you know, that's what makes it fun with the draft moving instead of always being in New York. When, like, because when it was in Philly and the Cowboys picked Chidobe Awuzie and, Drew Pearson came out and, like, antagonized the Eagles fans. But this guy with the hardcore British accent was antagonizing because they were in Detroit this year. And he's out there, like, the Bears, the best team in the NFC North, and the best team in the NFC pick. And then they pick a punter. So it's like, punta. It was pretty entertaining, but then like the number that had been done in like by Irishmen and Germans, so you get like all these interesting accents. It's definitely pretty intriguing for sure. The only bad thing is I think the tablet's going to die before Stump the Truck, so I'm going to have to watch Stump the Truck later. But it's also going to be interesting. It's in all the pre-draft stuff. Another little fishy jumped right there where those ripples are. But it's just weird because I was thinking about like putting in like a Grizz player, because one time I put in a Tech player and they never got to me. But I think so. Like, I think somebody else announced a Montana Tech person. They actually had tape somehow, which is insane. But the Grizz, they had nobody in mock drafts and stuff getting drafted. And it's like they were runner-up in the FCS. Like, they had, like, people on the team they were against that were going in, like, the third, projected in, like, third and fourth round. And I think even second. And I think the highest one went was the third round. To say the team that was a runner-up to them in the national championship will get 0 people drafted surprises me. I mean, worst case, it'll be a few of them picked up as undrafted free agents for sure. But I'd be a little bit surprised if not even one goes in, like, the 6th or 7th. That's another thing that's kind of interesting about those. Is like a lot of stuff, like the heat will linger. Those, it's like it like takes a minute to get the heat, and you have to eat probably 15 of them. Then you get like pretty decent heat actually, but then it like fades like incredibly quickly. That was interesting. Something jumped like right here. It was like when I was up there by the tablet. It was so close to shore I could barely see the ripple from behind these. So it was like right here, but this does drop off really quick right here. What do you think?
I think they're good, but spicy.
Well, eat it, and don't touch your eyes, because you just rubbed your eye, and if you touch the chip with that hand, you'd have it in your eyeballs. He's not alive anymore.
He's dead now.
It's okay.
That's all you wanted to do.
I'm gonna grab one of them bags out of there.
That's another fun thing they do on the last day of the draft. They bring in puppies, trying to get people to adopt them. Daniel Jeremiah got peed on by one. I don't know if that was last year or the year before or what, but they're trying to figure out which one would be most likely to pee on him again, so to give him the peed on one. Obviously my dad got one sucker. We were just joking around that it might be the only one that's been swimming around in here, nibbling worm off of all of our hooks, then finally got caught. Wow, the Patriots took a quarterback in the 6th round. Now they're on a giant tangent about how they drafted a different guy 3 years after Brady, and they were like, I wonder what we were talking about, if they're going to mess up Brady's good performance by drafting somebody else. I've been doing this, so this is kind of fun. I don't know, I'm messing around. I shouldn't be too much. Another fun story. We one time came here and don't know where they came from. We're not super duper far from farms, but right over there was like a fleet of of golden retriever puppies. There was like 5 of them, and there's none over here. Actually, I think that's what those little brown things there. They get what is called burrs. They're just like little balls with a bunch of like, they're basically like Velcro. I think actually it's what inspired Velcro.
I miss cute and opportunity.
Okay. But they were covered in them. And like we kind of felt bad when we were trying to pick them out of their hair. And then another fun story is underneath that bridge when the water wasn't so high. So like there was no water going back in there. So we were like fishing like right in here. But it was blizzarding. And I was going over to those willows and basically like doing a mini logging operation to get a fire going. And I got that, like the bridge was obviously covered in snow and ice, but it was thawed clear to here when we went to leave because I got kept such a big blazing fire going underneath there. We basically, like, even with the sides open like that, it was like you could be in there in a t-shirt. It was kind of awesome. Well, it's dead now. I'm pretty impressed though, because it got like probably another like half hour when it was down to 5% and dimmed the screen. And like what time? The drive started at 10. So 5 hours non-stop of YouTube TV. So not terrible. And I guess it was unplugged by what, 9 for me to leave. So yeah, not too bad. This also helps confirm it's beavers, because not only the shape, but if they're trying to clear out like so people can get close to fish, that's a lot of distance. And then once again, there's not like saw marks, there's chunks from them chewing. Same with that. And then that one that's really pointed. So maybe the beavers are rebelling and trying to get people to impale themselves. I guess there's another spot that kind of proves the point of trying to keep the bank clear. Proves that untrue, because even if that was super huge, it'd be really far away. Oh, my dad got another sucker, looks like. God damn it. To actually grab it. Actually grab it this time, Nathan. Let it suck on your finger.
No!
It's a sucker. It doesn't hurt. It doesn't have teeth. Okay, it's not like a bigger fish.
Yeah, there's a couple good. That's a good bait.
Can I touch it?
Yes.
Touch
I'll throw it on the ground. You can pick it up.
Touch.
You are such a baby.
No.
Yeah, this is actually kind of convenient use for these, because with all the mud down there getting caked on our boots. Because then it's like
I can't move my finger.
basically fully cleaned them off. Entertaining myself by
My one's still on. And more so I can throw it back out.
because it doesn't. The really thin ones don't hurt him through his coat.
I want to throw it back out.
If you go over my line, I'm gonna kick you. Let's watch him like take his first. Nathan, do you even know what you're doing? No, Nathan. You gotta open the bail. You gotta hold the line, open the bail. You gotta hold this like this.
Okay.
Now open the bail like that. Now fling it and let go of the line as you do it. It's going over mine. That actually wasn't terrible. Something just jumped right there, like I wasn't looking. And I'm like, Nathan, you throw something in? He's like, no. And I was like, it's kind of funny. Don't! You're in clean clothes now. Don't pile in. That's what sucks about all the ones that have been jumping in, because like you can use 2 poles here. If we'd had a second one using like a Rainbow Thomas or something, we probably could have caught some of those fish that were jumping that are probably some sort of trout. None of them looked very big, but it would be fun to catch them and release them. They're kind of funny thing, because Nathan's trying to convince me my pole's gone, but I finally figured out where it is. But the way it blends into the willows, because it's like, it's all like, I mean, you can see it obviously now, but from back there you can't very well. Another beaver proof. Somebody was cutting this, they would have just cut it down there in the first place, not like there then there. That weird energy drink, the Kool-Aid and Sunny D ones are both. Because Sunny D is not carbonated, so it made it really weird. But it did have that flavor. Same with, it's kind of the same with Kool-Aid. It was like, they just felt weird because they were carbonated and just threw it off. But I guess like they got the flavor fairly right.
Oh, I'm scared.
Well, you got to eat what's left of the can. That's why I left quite a bit, because you'll see. I at least, I didn't think there was anything like eating 1 or 2. It was like, once it got to like quite a few. It catches up a little. That's why I was like, I left like 10 for you. Yeah, I'll eat all I left for you.
It's a lot.
Just put the lid on, shake the shit out of it, and break them up and dump it in your trap. They're not a lot. Really? No way.
They have a weird, like, sourness.
Where would you put them in comparison to the ghost pepper soup? Oh, once you finish off what's left there and let it linger for like 2 or 3 minutes, I don't know. I don't know. I said it was like sort of close-ish, I guess, but. Really?
My throat right there.
Weird. I never felt that in my throat at all.
It might have been a coincidence, like maybe I got a chip scratch. Because now it went away. It's catching up. I have this many left. And now my mouth's kind of on fire. Yeah.
Thank you so much for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, share it with your friends, hit the notification bell, and we'll see you in the next video.